You know that feeling? It is 11:30 p.m. on a Tuesday. You're lying in bed, the lights are out, and your phone buzzes. You should not look at it. You know you should not, but you do. It is a notification from your bank. Daily balance update, $42.50. Or maybe it is not that low. Maybe it is a bit higher, but it does not matter because you're instantly hit with that cold wave of panic. You start scrolling through the transactions in your head. Did I pay the electric bill? Did that subscription go through? Why did I buy lunch 3 times this week? It is this mental fog, this low-level static that hums in the back of your brain whenever you try to relax. You feel like you're working constantly, running on a treadmill that is just a little too fast, but somehow you're never actually getting anywhere. The numbers blur together. The apps on your phone are a mess of different logins, and honestly, you're just tired of the noise. My name is B.O.B., and I spend way too much time thinking about money, human psychology, and why some people seem to glide through financial challenges while others are constantly stressed about their bank account balance. I say that not because I have some magic want to fix your life, but because I've spent years trying to figure out why we make money so much harder than it needs to be. And here's the thing I have noticed. The people who are truly stable, the ones who sleep like babies regardless of what the stock market is doing, they're not necessarily the ones with the highest salaries. They are the ones who have mastered the art of subtraction. Today, we are going to strip away the noise. We're going to talk about minimalist money rules, not in a eat-only ramen and sell your car kind of way, but in a way that clears out the clutter in your financial life so you can finally see straight. We're going to cover the specific, almost aggressive principles you need to adopt to stop the bleeding and start building a fortress around your future. Because once you remove the complexity, money stops being a source of anxiety and starts being what it is supposed to be, a tool that serves you. So, take a breath. Turn off the notifications. Let's get into it. The first rule, and honestly this is the one that will change your life faster than anything else, is what I call the one-card solution. We are living in an era of wallet bloat. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You open your purse or your wallet and it is stuffed to the gills. You have got a Visa for the airline miles, a MasterCard for the 5% cash back on gas, an Amex for the points, a debit card from the bank you hate but have not closed yet, and maybe even an old store card from that time you tried to save 15% on a pair of jeans. It is a circus. The problem with having all these cards is not just that it is annoying to carry them. The problem is that it fragments your focus. When you have 10 different ways to pay, you stop paying attention to the cost. You think, oh, I will put this on the Visa because it is nearly maxed out, so I will pay the minimum, and then I will put the groceries on the Amex. You're juggling chainsaws. It is stressful, and it is inevitable that eventually you're going to drop one. Here is the minimalist shift. You pick one card. One. That is it. I remember when I used to have 5 cards. I felt sophisticated because I had this strategy for optimizing rewards. But in reality, I was spending hours every month tracking which bill went to which card, and I was constantly surprised by the balances because they were scattered all over the place. Then I read about this minimalist approach. I picked a single credit card that had no annual fee and a decent interest rate, and I cut up the rest. Literally, took a pair of scissors to them. It felt scary. I felt like I was losing a safety net. But what happened? My spending dropped instantly. Why? Because when you have only one card, every single swipe represents a direct hit to that one visible number. You see the balance go up, and you feel it. You cannot hide the debt in the corners of your wallet anymore. It is right there in your face. So, the actionable advice here is ruthless. Go through your wallet today. Find the one card that gives you the best overall terms. Maybe it has the lowest interest rate, or maybe it is just the one you have had the longest to help your credit score. That is your card. Cancel the others. Or, if you are too scared to cancel, freeze them in a block of ice in your freezer, literally. Do whatever you have to do to stop using them. Simplify the input so you can understand the output. Once you have consolidated your spending into one stream, you have to tackle the digital clutter. And that brings us to rule number 2, the subscription purge. This is the silent killer of financial stability. It is the death by 1,000 cuts. We sign up for things because they offer a free trial, or because our friend recommended a show, or because we think we're going to learn a language in 30 days. And then we just forget. We move on. But the charge? It keeps coming. $14.99 here. $9.99 there. $19.99 for the software you used twice last year. I was helping a friend of mine, let us call him Dave, look at his finances a few months ago. Dave was convinced he was not making enough money. He was working side hustles, stressing about his rent, but he was always broke. We sat down and printed out 3 months of his bank statements. I handed him a highlighter. I said, highlight every recurring charge that is not rent or utilities. His paper looked like a rainbow. He had 3 different streaming services, 2 cloud storage plans, a gym membership he had not used in 8 months, a wine club subscription he forgot he joined, and a premium LinkedIn account. We did the math. He was spending about $350 a month on things he did not even remember he had. That is over $4,000 a year. Just gone. Vanished into the ether. He was literally working an extra month every year just to pay for zombie subscriptions. Why does this matter to you? Because this money is invisible friction, is slowing you down without you realizing it. Minimalism is not just about having less stuff. It is about having fewer obligations draining your energy. So, here's what you need to do. It is going to be painful, but do it anyway. Sit down. Log into every single account you can think of. Look at your statements. If you have not actively used a service in the last 30 days, and I mean consciously, joyfully used it, cancel it. Do not negotiate with yourself. Do not say, but I might watch that documentary next month. No. If you want to watch it, you can sign up for 1 month, watch it, and then cancel again. Cancel everything else. Feel the lightness that comes when you look at your bank statement, and it is not bleeding out through 50 tiny cuts. Now, once you have stopped the bleeding, we need to talk about the flow of money. And this is rule number 3. Automate the flow. Willpower is a finite resource. It is like a battery. You wake up in the morning with a full charge, and then you make decisions. What to wear, what to eat for breakfast, which route to drive to work. Every single decision drains the battery a little bit. By the end of the day, when you're tired and you walk past a bakery or see an ad for a new gadget, your willpower battery is flashing red. You're going to make a bad decision. It is basically biological destiny. The minimalist approach to money acknowledges that you cannot trust yourself to always make the right choice in the moment. So, you remove the moment. You remove the choice. You set up a system that runs in the background, like an operating system. It should be so boring and so automatic that you barely even notice it. Here is how you do it. You set up 2 separate bank accounts. One is your spending account. This is where your paycheck goes, and this is what you use to pay for life. Groceries, rent, fun. The second is your stability account. This is for your emergency fund and your investments. On the exact same day that your paycheck hits your spending account, you set up an automatic transfer to move a chunk of money, say 20%, to that stability account. You do this before you pay for anything. Before you buy coffee. Before you pay the electric bill. You pay yourself first. I know this sounds like basic advice, but ask yourself, have you actually done it? Or are you still waiting until the end of the month to see what is left over? Here is the secret. There is never anything left over. Parkinson's law says that work expands to fill the time available, and spending works exactly the same way. Spending expands to fill the income available. If you leave the money there, you will find a way to spend it on something stupid. I promise. By automating it, you are essentially putting your financial stability on autopilot. You're treating your savings like a bill that must be paid. It removes the emotional tug of war every month. You do not have to ask, can I afford to save this month? The system just does it for you. It frees up your brain space to focus on living your life, knowing that the foundation is being built silently in the background. Okay, so we have simplified the wallet, killed the subscriptions, and automated the savings. Now I need to talk about how you actually spend the money that remains. And this is rule number 4, the 72-hour rule. We live in an economy of impulse. Everything is designed to make you go from I see it to I own it in under 10 seconds. The Buy Now button, Apple Pay, the Save credit card info in your browser, these are all traps. They bypass the part of your brain that thinks logically and go straight to the part that wants dopamine right now. The minimalist counterattack to this is simple but brutal. If you see something you want to buy that is not a necessity, food, medicine, rent, you have to wait 72 hours. 3 days. Put in your online cart. Walk away. Leave it there. I did this recently with a new keyboard. I'm a bit of a nerd for mechanical keyboards, the clicky ones. I found this gorgeous, aluminum-framed, RGB-lit masterpiece. It was $300. My finger was hovering over by now. I could practically hear the clicking sound, but I forced myself to close the tab. I told myself, if I still want this on Friday, I can buy it. For the first 24 hours, I obsessed over it. I watched review videos. I justified it. I work at a computer, B.O.B. I deserve a nice tool. By the 48-hour mark, the obsession had faded a little. I realized I already had a perfectly good keyboard. By the 72-hour mark, I had completely forgotten about it. I was busy doing something else. I did not buy it. I saved $300 just by waiting 3 days. This works because it separates the emotion of wanting from the logic of needing. Most impulses are like waves. They rise up, they crash, and they disappear if you just let them pass. The 72-hour rule gives you time to let the wave pass. It saves you from the clutter of buying things that will just end up in a corner of your room gathering dust. Try it. It will feel uncomfortable at first, like you are denying yourself. But you're not denying yourself. You are protecting yourself from your own impulsive brain. Rule number 5 is about the relationship between quality and quantity. And this is the cost per use rule. Minimalism is often misunderstood as being cheap. It is not. It is about valuing the things you own. Being cheap means buying the lowest priced item, regardless of quality. Being a minimalist means buying the highest quality item you can afford, because you know you will not have to replace it. The cost per use rule is a simple mental math trick. Before you buy something, divide the price by the number of times you think you will use it. Let us say you need a winter coat. You find a cheap one for $50. It is thin, it is not waterproof, and the style is a bit trendy. You wear it maybe 10 times before it starts to look ratty or the zipper breaks. The cost per wear is $5. That is expensive. Now, consider a wool coat for $300. It is classic, it is durable, it is warm. You wear that coat every day for 3 years. That is, say, 400 times. The cost per wear is 75 cents.